Okay, that was a little bit weird. Let me know. I think I'm back. My computer just glitched, but now it says it's a new live. So, yeah, let me know if something occurred here because it seems like my live disconnected. So, anyways, I'll give people a second to get back here. As I'm giving a play, it disappears. So, give you 1 second here to see who comes back. Yo, yo, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. It just all of a sudden, like, my screen blipped. My OBS didn't even shut down, and it went right into a new. Looks like a new live. Yeah, I see Blitzkrieg. Thank you so much. That was kind of weird. It's like it disconnected and reconnected on YouTube. So yeah, I'm a little bit confused. I still got your questions up over here because I can still see the live. So I don't know what's going on there. Sorry about that. Um, that's kind of weird, but yeah, apologize for that. Sorry about getting disconnected. I don't know what exactly occurred, but I'm not going to touch anything over on this side just so we can continue on because I still got the questions here that were up on the screen. So we'll cover those. And I'll see if I can merge these two or do what I need to do in order to get that done. So once again, thank you everybody that's coming back. Sorry about that. Kind of a weird little hiccup on YouTube. It seems to have happened. But one of the plays I'm going to talk about, if you've got a distributor or if you want to go ahead and look around, sometimes you can find those 6-pack booster bundles right now. So, for example, earlier today I was looking on eBay. So if you go to eBay right now and you type in Obsidian Flame 6-pack booster bundles, and this is some of those weird things that can sometimes happen on different markets. It doesn't last for very long a lot of times. Um, so if you go Obsidian Flames 6-pack booster bundle. So let me see if it's still here before just to let you know if it's still available. So yeah, there's still a couple of them on here. So it's kind of weird. So you can get them at like 20, $20, 19. Here's a couple of them at $19, 19.50. So you can get these booster bundles on eBay right now. If you're searching around and doing some auctions, things like that, you can get them for around $20. But then if you turn around and you go to TCG Player, right now they're selling for 26. So there again, if you have an account or just if you have an account through eBay where you're a business or something like that and you don't have to pay taxes, a lot of these have free shipping on them, so you can get free shipping on these booster bundles. Buy it now, free shipping, these kind of things for like $22. I'm just checking here real quick, making sure all 20. So yeah, $22 currently. There was some of them on here for 19 earlier, but I'm not seeing many of the $19 ones right now. So if you were to go to TCG Player right now and put in those same booster bundles, the funny thing is that they're selling right now for 25.50. So if you can pick them up at $19 an hour, not dollars an hour, not $19 a piece, not pay the tax, and I have a business account, not pay tax, and not get shipping on those, there's an opportunity for a little bit of a flip product there too. So I love the booster bundles in a way that I like the size of them. I know some people have thrown it up there that they don't like the booster bundles. Some people say that they're dumb and that they're, they got a million reasons. Here's my reasoning being is that could you imagine right now for sales wise if there were booster bundles in Evolving Skies? Now, you could get in at a lot lower price, number one. And when you started out, you didn't. If you bought a case of these, you could get a case of them a lot cheaper than you could get a case of Evolving Skies, and get in even a single one. And even if it moved up at a really decent pace, and it moved up at a similar pace, so like we're seeing now, if you were to get in at the low point and let them ride up and then watch them go, like Obsidian Flames, for example, is the perfect example of this. You watch the gains of that particular product and it mirrors pretty closely to the gains of the booster boxes, which is an important factor as well futuristically if it can do that. It's a little bit of a gamble now because we don't have a lot of track history on those. If you're looking at them and they move up and they continue to move up theoretically close to the same percentage as the booster boxes based on size or number of packs, they could actually be easier to sell, easier to move than you would be able to move a booster box. For example, I've talked about this before. When you're looking at investment, you're talking about investments, you need to be considering who's going to buy that particular product futuristically. And as the price goes up, the triangle gets smaller. The people that can buy those things gets to be smaller and smaller and smaller. I talked about it myself. For me, anything under $400 is pretty much what I call an impulse buy. If I want something, it's a booster box, it's something I want under $400, I'll just buy it. That's my impulse range. I know that I can handle that in my Pokemon stuff, that I have that in the account, that if I see a booster box for $400, there's no thought process. If I want it, I just buy it. I don't even consider it. I don't even worry about it. It's not something that I'm concerned about. And everybody's price range is different, right? Some people it's $100, some people it's $300, some people it's like $12,000. You can probably go to like Rusty at TCA Gaming and he'll drop $50,000 on a sheet. I mean, it's just his impulse buy is at that range. If you can keep things in the impulse range of a majority of the people, you have the more likely opportunity to be able to sell those things, and they're more likely to sell easier or quicker than if they are expensive. And sometimes, now just hear me out, sometimes you can actually make more money on 6-packs than you can on a booster box, because so many people are priced out on a booster box that the 6-pack bundle becomes more affordable, even though it's a little bit more per pack. Because nobody's going to sit there and spend $2,000 on a booster box of, let's just say Evolving Skies, if it had one, versus 6-pack where you're paying, $180 for the same 6-pack. Yeah, you're paying a little bit more, but I got a sealed product with Evolving Skies in it. So that's another thing that you can look at. Fusion Strike. Oh, and that's where I'm looking at futuristic. Man, some of these, the more explosive ones, like Prismatic Evolutions, I could definitely see it being a great opportunity. Those bundles could be great opportunities futuristically, and I could see them doing really well, especially on them really explosive sets. Now, are they going to be explosive on everything? No, not at all. Some are going to do really well. Some are not going to do very well at all. Is Scarlet and Violet base set really going to be a contender for that? Maybe in 20 years, but it's definitely an interesting thing too. So, I mean, personally, I like 6-pack bundles. I think that they're kind of a nice little medium, and they give you that sellability futuristically on some of those really high flying sets. But do I think that they're a end all be all fix all for everything? No, I don't think that either. I think that there's going to be that opportunity there for certain sets. Otherwise, I think that they could actually underperform on something like Scarlet and Violet base set, just because the booster box is going to stay in that affordability range for a really long time on those boxes. So that's just always something to consider. I think they're going to be hit or miss. I think that they're a good investment in a lot of sets. Paldean Fates, I think they're going to be 151 booster bundles have obviously been fantastic, especially those holiday sets. They really seem to do extremely well. So that's just where I'm at on those anyways. I enjoy 6-pack bundles. I think that they're futuristically got some opportunity, especially on expensive sets, to keep you in the market to be able to continue to sell futuristically. If you need to get out of something and it's more reasonable, they're a great opportunity to get into it. Plus, they do store fairly well, and they don't take up a lot of airspace. A little bit more than the booster box equivalent, but they're not a huge amount more. So, yeah, they're not too bad. I actually don't find them to be too rough when it comes down to that. So basically that's going to be my rant. We're in 20 minutes. I do apologize. We did have another live, and YouTube glitched and sent me into a new one on YouTube, but my OBS didn't change, so I don't know. So I still got the questions here from the last live on my OBS, so I can still see what was put up there. So we can go back to the beginning. Like I said, Captain America, thank you so much for being in here. We got Blitzkrieg, thank you so much for being in here as well. Gonna go through the welcomes, Angels in here, thank you so much. Silverhawk, we got Cardboard Nerd, thank you so much for being in here as well. If you're still here, hopefully you guys moved it over. Celestial TCG, thank you so much. Gimbo, as always, glad to have you in here. iFomo, my #1 mod in the house, thank you for being in here as well. Pokeslam in here, thank you so much. And Shug Nasty, welcome on in, my friend. We're gonna go in and I'm going to go back to the first question. So there were some questions that were asked. They're probably not visible to you guys anymore. I don't know if they are or not. It got funky here. So they're at the beginning of my stream. So I'm going to go back to those ones because I did have just some comments here from Blitzkrieg, and then I had a question from Angel. So the first one I got from Blitzkrieg is, I'm buying up some 3-pack blisters of Unbroken Bonds for the long term. I think it's great. 3-pack blisters are very, very nice. And actually keep your eye on your Targets and Walmarts and check the 3-pack blister boxes, because I have been getting lucky at pulling out Darkness Ablaze ones. I just pulled out some Fusion Strike ones out about 2 weeks ago, so they are bringing them out of storage and dumping them into 3-pack blisters. So if you have a bunch of 3-pack blisters in a box still, check through those, because my guy's been sticking them in the back. So they're not up front. You have to actually pull it out and look. And in the back that he's putting in, I pulled Darkness Ablaze about a month ago. I pulled Fusion Strike here a couple weeks ago. I also pulled Battle Styles not that long ago too. So they are seeming to mix those in and bring them in and kind of throw them in there. So yeah, that's kind of something that's going on as well. So make sure you keep an eye on those when you're looking at 3-pack blisters. Unbroken Bonds, I think 3-pack blisters are one of those things that seem to do fairly well in the future as well. So I definitely don't think that that's a bad buy. Guys sell stuff. Just sent his cards to the GameStar, 12 cards, and they might have lost his cards. See, and that's where I was concerned about. But there again, I don't know. I don't know how they would lose it in a way. I mean, once again, unless they're dealing with thievery more than anything, not doing it correctly. But the way they did it, I mean, it's barcode scan. The only way it's going to get lost is if for some reason that no reason it's going to get lost is if they intentionally don't put the barcode on it, or B, the mail loses it, which is a situation we run into even sending cards there on a normal basis. So it's not unheard of either way. But make sure that he has the app too. That's what I found is that if you want to track your order through there, you can actually track it through the app. The shipping took a little bit longer for them to get there than what he expected, than the first two that he had showed me he'd done. But we did go through the holiday season as well, so that might be part of the factor for me. So taking that with a grain of salt, that the shipping took a little bit longer than what you would think, because I sent them out on November 24th and they just got there 4 days ago. So yeah, it almost took 1 month of shipping, and they were just in transit that whole time. So it was just a shipping issue, and they actually got to PSA, according to their tracking number, it got to PSA December 10th, and December 10th, so from the 10th to the 24th, so 14 days, PSA literally sat on them and didn't process them. They didn't bring them in. So PSA had them sitting there for a long period of time as well. So I'm wondering if they're getting a lot more inflow as well with the current way that this is working. They might be getting a lot more now that it's cheaper going through through GameStop, that they're getting more, and it's kind of overwhelming them a little bit. Or GameStop stuff is getting put in a special bin and they're just working through it as they get time. So that was the other concern I had as well. So it's a trial. We're testing it out to see how we do on a couple orders here, just to find out for sure. We have Angel. So Angel asked, do you think people will disperse their money with everything coming out? Prismatic 151, since it's getting close to out of rotation and hard to find now. Then people play catch up with other sets. I think that we're getting to a point on some of these sets, like even Prismatic Evolutions. To be 100% honest, I don't know how many people are going to pay this extravagant price of $100 plus for an ETB, especially right on release. So I think people are starting to plane out on that set already, unless you can find some deals on it, or you're already kind of locked in, or hopefully we're all locked in a certain location that we know is pretty safe and we're going to have some opportunity in it. But I think that we are getting to a point where people are going to start moving to other sets, and we are kind of seeing that already. That's why I think you're seeing Obsidian Flame starting to move up in price. We're seeing Paradox Rift moving in price. Base sets moving up in price. So once again, when prices get too expensive, Surging Spark's too expensive. People don't want to pay that much for a new set. Number two, you got Twilight Masquerade, too expensive. People don't want to put that money into it. Stellar Crown getting really expensive. So people are starting to shuffle down the sets and going back again. And that's what we saw even in Sword and Shield era. You would see almost like this stair step effect where, the awesome sets, the great sets would start moving up, and when they got too expensive, all of a sudden the lower sets started to catch up. That's when we saw sets like Battle Styles and Chilling Reign starting to make moves when they'd sit stagnant for a long period of time. Is when current sets got too expensive or harder to find where nobody wanted to spend the money, then the other sets would start to catch up. And I think that that's what we're going to see. I think that's what we are currently seeing at this point in time. Blitzkrieg. Blooming Waters is hitting some stores early. I did hear that, actually. I heard some people were supposed to be getting those early, or we're getting a hold of them already. So yeah, it's Interesting. Hey, Pika Pika, how you doing? Dialga, thank you so much. And Canto Green, welcome on in. Pokey Nufo, thank you so much for being in here as well. Didn't see you sneak in. So just getting caught up. I'm reading another screen on my OBS over here because whatever reason it glitched at the beginning, and I didn't lose it on my OBS, but YouTube reset the live. So I'm going back to some of the questions that were here before. So these aren't on your screen. I don't know if you guys are seeing these, but I am. But I see that the stream's got a new name, so it doesn't have a name in it. It's just like a blank live right now. So I'll have to go back and fix that as well. So let's see. We've got going through all these. Got that one. Got that one. Angel agree. But after that, how much? How much will they print? Will it last chance for 151? Who knows? Nobody knows for sure. But I've said that before. I think we're getting to the point where 151 is getting out of reprints. If they did throw one more up, I would be kind of surprised in a way, but in another way, I could expect it to occur as well, just because of how big of a moneymaker that has been for the Pokemon Company. If it did have a reprint, I would definitely expect to be seeing like ETBs and that come back. I would think that ETBs would probably be the area that we would probably be seeing when it comes down to reprints on those. We did not get an ETB reprint as of yet. Alakazam, Zapdos, poster collections. We got booster bundles. We got what else? I mean, we pretty much got almost everything else but ETBs and the binder collections. We didn't get the UPCs. We didn't get UPCs. We didn't get binder collection, and we did not get ETBs. Seems like products that had something more than print in them. So, for example, the UPCs have the metal cards. They didn't get reprints. The binder collection had the binder in it, so that didn't get a reprint. And then on top of it, the ETB had the sleeves and had the coins and everything in it, and it didn't get a reprint. So it seems like anything that was past reprinting just didn't get, or just didn't have paper in it, didn't get reprinted. So I'm wondering if that might be something that's holding up a little bit on the printing on Pokemon, with Pokemon right now. It's just kind of odd. Now that I'm looking back and thinking about it, that's the stuff that did not get a reprint, were the items that have something other than print in them. So poster collections, just a piece of paper they printed. Alakazam, the Alakazam Zapdos boxes are in the poster collection just printed cards. I mean, there's nothing out of the printing in the normal boxes. Everything else that had something else was kind of skipped. So interesting, kind of interesting to think about right now. Maybe that's part of the process or part of the issue. I'm not sure. Um, Silverhawk, any opportunity in reverse hollow niche to play out? Looking back at older sets, some reverse hollows have grown in value. Do you think that's the same is plausible for sets like 151, SP, SSP, etc.? Silverhawk, that is such a hard market to talk about, and Scarlet and Violet's even going to be more difficult because you're getting two reverse hollows with a lot of these sets. So the reverse hollow market and the holographic market in Scarlet and Violet is very saturated compared to like Sword and Shield market. So Sword and Shield had some rare reverse hollows that are doing well, and I have seen those do decent. But the difference is I think that there's going to be a lot more in the Scarlet and Violets. In the Sword and Shield era, there's definitely some opportunities for that. I think that you could potentially have some value in some of those reverse hollows. But honestly, if I was going to put any money into it, Silverhawk, I would be looking more at like the stamped cards more than I would be at reverse hollows. Whether it's from like the built-in battle boxes, whether it's from good or from GameStop or something like that, I think that those would have better potential value than anything in the reverse hollow category right now. There's probably going to be an oddball. There's always an oddball, but that's definitely a factor that I think is going to be more likely to be better is going to be stamped hollows versus reverse hollows. Let me see. Angel, just looking to see. So that was all the questions I had. Now I'm coming into, because now I got the one where boom said frozen. Yeah, so that's where I was frozen on the screen. So that must be where it shifted. So then we got Blitzkrieg saying, yo, I'm here. So here we are. We're back on to the track here with that. So it looks like we're all up on track now. So it never was too big on booster bundles. We had the booster bundle discussion. I was looking to buy a case of the booster bundles of Shrouded Fable. I might be able to get that for you if you're looking. Let me check. You're looking for a booster bundle of Shrouded Fable. So I can check real quick and see what we got for booster bundles. Because some still have them. Some are sold out. They're kind of all over the place depending on where you're at. Like Surging Sparks are gone like a fart in the wind. I'm just looking to see because I know City and Flames are still up. Temporal Forces is still up. Can get those. Paradox Rift still has them up. Kind of looking here. I could check, but no, they don't have them up right now. So maybe they are sold out on those currently. So yeah, that might be something to be considering as well. So I can go back to the live over here. Okay, so I'm going to lose this live. We're going to go back to the live studio here and see where we're at right now. There we go. Okay. So, got that all fixed. All right. So, let me see. Where are we at over here? So, yeah, I'll ask about Shrouded Fable. If you're interested, DM me, Blitzkrieg, and I take a look at that. Celestial Fusion Strike going wild. Fusion Strike is absolutely nuts right now. It's absolutely crazy to be seeing this doing as well as it has been. I never thought the Fusion Strike would be doing this strong. I knew it was a good set. I knew that it was a well-rounded, strong set, but I was definitely not expecting it to be doing this well at the point that we're at right now in 2024. Blitzkrieg, nah, 151 too expensive unless you got a guy on the inside of Costco. Yeah, that's about it too. Love the bundles, Angel. The buy-in the most accessible than booster boxes. Yeah, the buy-in is a lot more accessible for a lot of individuals when it comes down, especially older sets. That's where I see the value being like 5-10 years on some of these pricing. Booster bundles are going to become more feasible for a lot of people to be able to get in on. Gimbo Slice, you can sell sets of, yeah, 3 buns, well, half booster box. Yep. Let's see, how's it going? Happy holidays to everybody once again, because lost in the last one. Happy holidays to everybody too. Happy New Year coming up here in just a couple days. Hopefully you've got a little bit of time off. Hopefully most people I know around here are getting half days off, so that'll be kind of nice as well. Pokeslam, are you gonna have more prismatic evolutions to sell, or are you finally allocated for pre-orders? I am allocated for pre-orders, and I have basically got just enough currently. As long as it all ships like it should, I have enough to cover everybody's pre-orders. I put enough allocations in different spots that I am covered for what I owe. I've only got about 50 or 30 over what I have on pre-orders already. So, and I have streaming to do too. So that's gonna cut me pretty slim. I was hoping to have about double. I was hoping to have at least 100 ETB. I was hoping for a minimum of 50, but I was hoping for 100 ETBs for streaming because streaming wise, this is going to be an absolutely insane set. So currently, I don't have any allocation left. I'm just hoping that everything ships like it should, and I can deliver everybody's allocations that I have for the pre-orders as well. So as of right now, we're all covered. We're all good to go on that. Time will tell as soon as it hits as soon as I get my final slip for what we're getting, then I'll know for sure. Let's see. So I'll scroll to the bottom. Here we go. Um, I have too many premium boxes. Yeah, I appreciate the space saving compared to 3-pack bundles to 151 UPC. Yep, prismatic. Uh, Shrug is your live over. I think you're still going, but I had to hop off and take the kids to lunch. Okay, we're skipping. We got any other questions? Looking at the Iono from Obsidian Flames and Chaldean Fates, and boy, are they cheap. Yeah, they're really, really cheap, actually. They were really playable, and now, playability-wise, I don't see many people using the Iono anymore. Um, because I think people are getting annoyed using it, and for playability, it's kind of nice to screw with people. I would say it's a screw someone over card, and that's always the fun thing about it is that literally you just take your whole deck and dump it into their hand, and if they either get 5 or was it they either get 7 cards back or 5 cards back depending on how many prize cards they have. So it was great in the later part of the game, but it was kind of annoying too because you play the Iono, someone else would play the Iono, and then a little bit later you'd play an Iono, and then they'd play it. And it was more just to make people angry than it was to do anything because you get everything laid out and they'd screw up your layout. But Such is life. That's Pokemon playing in general right there, and the meta side of life. Long time no see. How's it going, Kanto Green? Hopefully you're having a good holiday season here. Iono could never go wrong. I think Iono futuristically is going to do really well, especially the full art one and the SIR version. But even the for playability, even the little one or even the standard ones were doing extremely well for a while there. I bet you happen on your Lost Origin cases right now. Yes, I am very much so. Lost Origin doing fantastic as well. So what are we gonna take? We should do a little bit of a I don't want to call it a wager, but a prediction. So in the chat, let me know when do you think? Because right now, and I'll give you the numbers right now. So if we go Lost Origin booster box right now, Lost Origin booster box right now is $287. So 287 is going to be 299 is actually the next list one. So that's yeah, it's a Spanish version. So 299. So we're at $300 right now for Lost Origin. And then if we go, I'll give you the numbers. So that way you guys can make up your mind on what you want to do here. We got Fusion Strike right now. So Fusion Strike, the next box available is for $450. What point do you think in 2025? So here's what I want you guys to put in the chat. By the end of 2025, do you think Lost Origins can catch Fusion Strike? And if so, what month? I want to put that in here because I want to see what everybody thinks. I think that by November of 2024, that Lost Origins has a chance of catching Fusion Strike. Curious to know what you guys think. Kind of a little bit of a fun here. A little bit of a 2025 fun right now. Do you think that Lost Origins will catch Fusion Strike by the end of 2025? And if so, what month? So, and it'll be here. So next year we can take a look to see who was there. No, I'm asking not when it'll catch. I'm asking when Lost Origins. Do you think Lost Origin will overtake Fusion Strike in 2025, or soon or after? So I'm curious. I think Lost Origin has a really good opportunity to catch Fusion Strike. Because right now, when you go by numbers, Fusion Strike hasn't had any sales at that $400 range. They've had one sale at $425, but most of the sales have been right around $380 to $400. So, yes, there's one listed at $450, but that does not necessarily mean it'll sell at that point. We don't have a sale that high yet. So we're still realistically at $400 right now at this point in time. In my opinion, we're at $400. I think that we have time. While Lost Origin, so I'm going to pull it open again, pull the data. So the sales have really dropped on Fusion Strike. I'm just going to say that right now. It's like 2 to 3 every day, and they're all around $400. So even though there's one listed at $450, that doesn't mean that's where we're at. But if we go to Lost, we've had several sales today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 sales today at 300. The next one is at 300 as well. So the next listing's at 300, but we've had sales at that point. So let me know. I'm just kind of curious to know what you guys feel when we're going into the year. It's just a little fun. There's nothing to lose. Nobody's going to get made fun of. I just think that by potentially November of 2025, that Losto could at least be equivalent to Fusion Strike in price in the market. Fusion Strike I got a feeling Fusion Strike's going to lose momentum here. It's getting too expensive, but Losto has still got a great push behind it, and I think that it has a chance to be able to catch, or if not overtake, Fusion Strike by the end of 2025. And I'm talking one booster box, not a case, one booster box. And not just one sale. Let's be realistic. It's got to be consistent sales over each other. Let's put all the ground rules so that way there's no confusion. Okay, let's go on. Pika Pika, thank you so much for being in here. People hating on Shrouded Fable, and I just started buying because packs are a bargain, and I want a few of the cases. Well, the problem is this Shrouded Fable doesn't have anything in it. That's the only problem that you're having. You're hoping Shrouded Fable. You're hoping for one of the cards to become popular futuristically. Even playability, it burned out really fast. There's like one card that's still playable inside of there, but realistically, that is it. Um, so once again, you're planning on Blood Moon Ursaluna. You're planning on some of those cards to become popular. The Greninja, the Kingdra, all those cards. There's no reason to buy that set to get the best cards out of the set. That's where Pokemon, in my opinion, really screwed up on Shrouded Fable. They pulled the Greninja, they pulled the Kingdra. I mean, they pulled the best cards and put them in the boxes. What are you buying? What are you buying Shrouded Fable for futuristic? Once you're not playing it, once it's done in tournament, what are you buying? What is a collector going to buy in that box? What are they going to be interested in? That's what you got to look at when you're talking about investment and why you'd be holding on to something. And I don't see any. There's nothing in it that I could see as a collector wanting. Pika Pika, happy holidays. Likewise. I can't believe there is still PC Shroud of Fable. Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. It's just not. There's nothing in it. Um, Nerd, I've been saying that for a few months. I bought 3 cases of Shroud of Fable ETBs at 270. Who all has the backlog to rip? You get some good stuff for Christmas. I gifted myself a little too much this year. We always gift ourselves a little bit too much. Come on. That's the point of this hobby is we just try and gift each other too much. That's okay. It's all fun and games. I'm Homo. What's your favorite? Or what's your guys' favorite part of 2024? For me, it was the boom for the hobby by yeah, no kidding. The CT scanning, yeah, that was a fun one for this year. My funnest part of this year so far, has realistically just been the fact that we've seen another uptick in the hobby. I mean, the hobby's been doing really well. We're seeing another push. The one thing I don't like about it is the fact that we have no product. So we got people that want to buy, and we got people with money to buy, and we don't have any product to sell. So it's one of those catch-22 situations right now. But overall, I'm enjoying the way that the hobby's kind of turned. I'm really happy for the way that everybody seems to be involved in enjoying it again. I think that people are kind of smoothed into Scarlet and Violet, and people are enjoying the chases in it again, which is fantastic. Seeing the harder chases in 2024 was definitely a big push for me, in my opinion. I did really like the push for the harder chases. So whether it was from Temporal Forces on, they had some really good chases in there that made it more exciting to be in the hobby, especially from the streaming. It got people involved. It got people moving again. Let's see here. I love booster bundles. Yep, that's fragile. Half a million Pikachu. Cardboard nerd. Are they? And they are similar, easy to pack. Yep. Just looking through. People hated Fusion Strike. I never hated Fusion Strike. I actually like Fusion Strike. I bought a lot of it at $90, and even I said buy it at $90. I thought it was a really good set when it was down that cheap. I actually thought it was really underrated with that. You had that Espeon and that Gengar VMAX in it, both beautiful cards. The Mew was a little weak, artwork wise. I thought that the artwork was a little bit weak on the Mew. I know chase wise it was fun, but overall, then there's a lot of different alternate arts in that set. I think overall it was a really strong set, and there's a lot of forgotten alternate arts still available in that set, such as that Celebi card, another really good alternate arts that's hidden inside of there that's really underrated in my opinion for what the card is and the actual art value of that particular card as well. Um, hey, Chilling's still doing well too. Chilling was cheaper than Fusion when he started out, so I mean, Fusion only went down to about $90, so you could buy Chilling Reign at around $78 and $80. So you got a little bit better pricing on Chilling as well. Both of them not bad buys, but there again, that's where diversification, buying a little of both, could definitely been an advantage. Just one of them things. You can never predict everything when it comes down to it. You just gotta do the best that you can with what you've got for information at the time. I love the Mew pink Gengar colors of the set. Let's see, and they are smaller. Yeah, okay. Crypto. Here we go. Kanto Green, Crypto or Pokemon. It's crapshoot, but I'm sticking with Pokemon. I understand Pokemon a little bit better. I'm tempted to sell my Gengar VMAX Japanese into the hype to save money for Team Rocket. Not a bad idea. If you're not stuck on it, it's definitely not the worst idea or the worst thing for sure. The Chef 93, thank you so much. Blooming Waters and Prismatic. I just want some MSRP. That's going to be even difficult. Isn't Blooming Waters out already? Apparently, local Costco's have it in stock. I've heard of that, but I have not seen it personally. Chef keeps checking Costco, especially if you live in Canada. That's what I heard. It was in Canada. I haven't seen it here, and I know my Costco does not have it yet. So it isn't out yet in the United States. If it is out in Canada, then it might be, but I have not seen it myself. And I know it hasn't been at the Costco by us, because if it was, I'd probably be there buying it right now. Because I did not even get a chance. It was up on the distributors for like literally 30 seconds. So there wasn't very much of it available from the distributor. A couple people from Facebook selling them for 140. Yeah. Well, what is the release date of that? I mean, the release date isn't until, isn't it like the 15th? I'm trying to remember what the release date was on that one. Not even up anymore. I thought the release date was the 15th, so it's still a couple weeks out for the release, I thought. Finally I can get some raw cards cheap. Holding back on 151 and Surging Sparks is hard. Yeah, that's a hard set to really want to, because you just don't know where it goes. February 7th. Okay, he says February 7th. I thought it was mid January. So yeah, kind of crazy if it's already out there, because I wouldn't even think they'd be sending it out to the main distributors yet. So I don't know how they would be getting it early. Once again, it's one of those things where they're having you buy it early and they don't even have it yet. Then they'll wait forever for you to get it. Green emoji dude, welcome on in. How you doing today? Allegedly confirmed iFOMO. A couple people from Facebook selling them. Yeah, I just don't know if they have them or not. I mean, just because they have them up doesn't mean that they have them. Kind of like people selling them on eBay right now. They're doing that. People are selling them on TikTok right now for 140, but they aren't going to ship them until they get them in the future. So that's just it. I mean, they're trying to capitalize on the hype of that and the inability to get it. So I don't know if they have it. They could. I mean, it's possible. I just don't know how much. How much was available, if it was just a fluke. We've seen sets get released a month early on other locations or other times, so I guess it's not out of the question for it to happen. And I just don't think it would be done in large quantities if it was. I'm willing to bet it was one store made an oops and it's out there if it did happen. If it's happening. Finally I can get some reset. I'm trying to find where I am on. The chef. Fusion Strike will always be ahead of Lost Origins, but Lost Origins can absolutely catch 400 in 2025. I think that Fusion Strike's going to stagnate. I understand people are going to say, I saw it down here a little bit, that Tina is better than Gengar, and I do, or is Gengar's better than Tina. I agree, but I also believe that that's also split the other way too. I bet you there's a lot of people that feel the other way, that the Tina is better than the Gengar. So I mean, it's kind of going to come down to, my only thing is that a lot of sets, a lot of times find a ceiling, and when they hit that ceiling, they stop. We've seen it time and time again. We even see it with Evolving Skies. It gets to a certain price, and then it kind of stagnates, where people just don't want to spend the money on it for a while. Then all of a sudden, you get another boom of it where people start moving again. And the question is right now, Lost Origin has had sales at 300. It's moving up. It's been moving up weekly. Fusion Strike has kind of, even though the top listed one right now is 450, we have not seen a sale at 450. We've seen a sale at 425, and that was one. And all the rest of them have been right around that 385 to 400 mark. So there again, if you start seeing that window where we start seeing them all kind of stagnate, and that's where the sales are. So when someone's listing it there, it gets sold. They list at 450, nobody's buying. That tells you you're getting to potentially a stagnation. Now, how long it sits there is going to be the real question. And is that going to, how do I say, if it sits there, how long it sits there is going to really determine if Lost Origin can make up some ground. Because Lost Origin's moving up right now. It's been moving up. Fusion Strike has got to get that 450 sale to continue to move up. It may get one, but even I'm going to go back to Pokemart USA. He put up a perfect example. When you need to cross that next $100 mark is always the more difficult. So if Lost Origin can push past the $300 mark and get going past the $300 mark, it could go to 400 very quickly. If Fusion Strike cannot cross that $400 mark, it may stagnate there for a while. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens and which one can bust through that ceiling first. So be kind of interesting. I'm just curious to know what you guys think. There's no winner or loser here. I think we've all pretty well positioned ourselves for the people that are positioned in both these sets. I think we're pretty well positioned already, and it's not really going to change anybody's opinion on what they're buying at the end of the day. I just think it's kind of fun to see what people's opinions are on it. Okay, where were we? We were up here somewhere. They printed the crap out of it, like for Silver Tempest. They didn't print as much Lost Origin, so Lost Origin actually didn't get as much reprint as Silver Tempest. Silver Tempest really got hammered with reprint. But Silver Tempest got hammered by reprint because it was the more playable set. I don't think a lot of people realize that Lost Origin wasn't as playable. Actually, Astral Radiance is a more playable set than Lost Origin. Silver Tempest was the set. That was the only set that could beat a Fusion Strike deck. So the Lugia deck was the only deck that could beat a Fusion Strike deck. So that was the big runner for like a year in the Scarlet and Violet too. So when the Fusion Strike went out, we were still playing Lugia decks all the way up until probably about 7 months ago. We finally switched out of Lugia decks. So Lugia has been the harder playing card. So they printed more of that. They printed 6-pack bundles of that. They printed more booster boxes of that. They printed ETBs of that. So it was definitely more of because of the playability of that set. I think it got a lot more reprint than Lost Origin. I think Lost Origin got some booster box. They didn't get any 6-pack bundles. They did get some ETBs, and Astral Radiance only got ETBs at that reprint at the end. So yeah, really, 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 really interesting when it comes down to what they printed and how much. And I think that end reprint really did hurt the overall value of Silver Tempest, but I definitely think it's a little bit underrated yet at this point. People are hoarding it up. There's less listed, but more bought under 100. Yeah. Persian. It's not even that rare. No. Let's see, Cardboard Nerd, you gave me a lot to think about on my stance on Shrouded Fable. I didn't realize some of the chases were pulled into other products. Yes. So that was the catch for Shrouded Fable. So just something to really look at when you look at the set list. I think the most expensive card inside of there right now, and let me check, was the Gold Earthen Vessel. So let me check real quick, because if I look up Shrouded Fable, if I could spell tonight, apparently my keyboarding skills suck. Yeah, so the Gold Earthen Vessel is your most expensive. The Felici, I can't even say it, the Pheasant. The Pheasant and the, so two of the top cards that are over $20 or over $30 right now are trainers, and they're very, very big trainers. Earthen Vessel, I use Earthen Vessel in like all my decks right now, just because you can pull the cards you need, you can pull energies that you need very, very quickly. And then the other one, which is the, what is it, Casopian, is definitely, she's just it makes you so you can set up your deck, so you can build your deck. The Pheasant is definitely playable right now with the flip to script. ability, so that's realistically what you're looking. It's a basic with a nice ability to it. But there again, you're really playing on the fact is that going to hold up? Then you go down, there's an illustrator rare. I mean, the Persian is definitely going to be a chase, so you got a Persian inside of there. That's where you're going to get that Persian, but realistically, the Greninja, the Kingdra, were pulled out and put in the boxes. So you could buy the Kingdra Greninja box and get those out of there. So you don't even need to buy Shrouded Fable to get those, which is always a big downside to it. So Doom is okay. I mean, that's sitting in there too. There's a Houndoom in there. I think it's pretty cool, illustrator rare. But once again, you're really gambling on IRs, not SIRs, driving the set and holding up value futuristically. So yeah, something to think about. I mean, it's cheap. I get it. I mean, it's a really cheap set, but personally, I'm not putting much value into it just because I just don't see that. Is Fusion Strike a fluke, or is 150 price point organic? I think it's organic, honestly. Personally, I don't think people were chilling or Fusion Strike for better terms. Personally, I just think that it's just it's popular. I mean, Gengar is a very popular card. We got a Gengar inside of what is it, Scarlet and Violet, so it came out in Temporal Forces, but it was only a full art. We haven't even gotten an SIR of Gengar, so it's realistically the last big Gengar chase is in that particular set. So I think that there's a lot of things to that. I mean, Gengar, as you can see behind, I got a Gengar there, I got a Gengar there, I got a Gengar. I'm a Gengar fan. I like Gengar. But we haven't been getting very many hot chase Gengar cards. I mean, you got the last Gengar cards do extremely well, which is really what's driving the value of Fusion Strike at this point in time. I mean, you're looking at the Gengar card right now. The next hollow, not damaged hollow, is I'm just looking down a list here, $500. So you're looking at $500 for a near mint hollow right now, with someone with no sales. So I mean, the risk is yours at that point. Otherwise, you're up to $550. So you're looking at $550 for a Gengar VMAX. And I think it's a really sweet card. I'm glad I pulled that one. But once again, I think it's organic because that card's value is going up because more and more people want Gengar cards. We kind of thought we were going to get a taste, but instead we got a Ghastly card, and we didn't get a Gengar card in the set. So it was kind of one of those little letdowns. So realistically, if you're looking for a Chase Gengar, you got to go back to Fusion Strike. So I think it's organic. I honestly think that it is 100% an organic growth. And what's the Tina doing right now? It's been a while since I've looked up the Tina V. Where are we at on that one? So if I look up the Garantina V, where are we at right now on the Tina V? So the Tina V is at the same price. So realistically, you got two cards running almost simultaneously in price at about that 500 to 550 mark. Pokey Steve, welcome on in. Glad to see ya. What else we got here? Here we go. So speaking of people getting back into the hobby and enjoying Pokemon again, we got two Pokemon vending machines in our Safeway near me. That's awesome. I've been looking at buying one of those and putting it up myself. I actually have been considering it because there is a lot of potential in those, and there is nowhere around here that has one. So I thought if I were to get one and put in a couple ETBs, put in a couple things, and just put it inside of the mall or one of our local stores around here, I think it could potentially do extremely well when it comes down to that. So it's definitely been a consideration I've had on me for a little bit. Oh, they're gigantic. Yeah, they're huge. Where you put them, they're gonna have to have a big space for those for sure. The only stock I saw 2 days ago was some Stellar Crown boosters and singles. Went back today, 100% sold out. Yeah, and they sell out. That's what I've been hearing. They're very, very good. So that's something I've been considering as well. Let's see. Going down. Hey, OG Weedle Farm, how you doing this evening? He says Lost Origin for the win. So he's with me. He thinks Lost Origin's gonna catch up. I ended up buying a case of OP9 I'm very bullish on the set short term. I think so. I think there's a lot of people. Plus, it seems like they don't print enough of it for the first demand. I have noticed that for a lot of the OP sets right now. I they just don't print enough, and they're always short. Then they seem like they come back with a second print, and then they catch up. Like you said, that short term is probably there, but I just don't know enough about OP or about One Piece to really be a huge advice for it. Um, I can't do this. Wake up at 6 a.m. to check the Pokemon restocks on Pokemon Center. It's killing you, man. LOL. Usually at 4 a.m. they upload new items. I think they. I think when you get a Johto game, Lugia will reign as the goat of. Yeah, I think so too. It's gonna really depend on where they go with things and futuristically, so it's a lot of time to find out for sure. My FOMO, yeah, Lugia was a very playable. Too bad it came out so late in the era. Well, yeah, I mean, it came out late in the era because it was realistically 100% a counter to the Fusion Strike deck. So it was a counter deck, and that's the only reason that they came. Once again, they're doing it in Scarlet and Violet all the time. They just came up with the Dusclops deck that literally grenades your bench. So they put area zero arena in there so you can put more on your deck to counter that, so you're not stalemating the game. I found it very interesting because Mason and I talked about that. Sometimes the game they kind of like they don't think it through when they send stuff out. They test it, they know it works, but then they don't realize the implications of what they're doing. And that's something that I think that they do make a mistake of. So Sword and Shield, they didn't like Sword and Shield because in the terms of play, Sword and Shield kind of sucked because it was very, very quick. So in like Sun and Moon, you had to evolve your Pokemon to get to the GX cards, and even back in the day, you had to evolve through. And then in Sword and Shield, they wanted to make it shorter, so then you could just take a VMAX and go right to a VMAX on the table. You didn't have to evolve. So a lot of people were just running multiple VMAXs inside of their deck with smaller cards with abilities, but the game was fast. I mean, you could get through a game of Pokemon in like 10, 12 minutes. You could play it out really, really fast. It really came down to how fast you could get that VMAX, how fast you could power that VMAX, and that's really what the deciding factor was on those games. So then they put in the Fusion Strike deck. So the Fusion Strike made it so that literally the Genesect Mew grenaded everything on the deck, and then the Lugia deck made it so you built a Lugia really quick and attacked that Fusion Strike before it became a problem. So it was just, and they continually are doing that, and they're continually adapting. That's why now we have the Pikachu. That's why it's actually playable as well. Is that it keeps 10. Its ability is it keeps 10 of it on the or keeps 10 health power, so that it can remain on the bench if you hit it with the Dusknoir. So you won't knock the Pikachu out. You'll just knock your Dusclops out, and you'll get the prize card, and they don't. So they don't stalemate the match. So yeah, there's always a counter for something they do. Fusion Strike was way too was an OP deck. The Mew deck was so OP'd, it was absolutely stupid playing against it until the Lugia deck came out. When the Lugia deck came out, it balanced the power back to where the Lugia deck became slightly better, but the Mew deck could still win. So it balanced those two out. But that Mew deck was definitely by far so OP'd. It was the Mew Genesect deck was a monster. So yeah, some things really were good to have that mute or have that, and I mean the Lugia deck is still playable today, until we go through rotation in March. So let's see here. Kashmir Fire, thank you so much for dropping in. What Pikachu Gengar in Chinese that will come out soon is the sickest one you've seen in a while? I have not paid attention to any of the Chinese cards. So I don't know for sure. So, but welcome into the chat. We got Smoke Ebola. Thank you so much for joining in. It was hard for me to get Fusion a month ago at 250 a booster box. I knew then that it was gonna go up. Yeah, you knew it was going to just because it was pretty difficult to find at a lower price. As it was at like 280, finding it lower was really difficult, and it just continued to move pretty good. So overall, I think it's all organic. It's just I just don't know how high it will go before it ceilings out. Blitzkrieg, better at that point versus the 400 current. Yeah, you think about the price difference on how much you'd be down on that one. Brandon, thank you for joining in. Paid $380 for the Garantina and a PSA 10 earlier this year. Glad I did. Yeah, because what is it? Almost $1,200 now, or I don't know for sure. 1,000, 1,200. I mean, I knew it was up there too on that too. Let's do this. I can look at all the recent sales here real quick. I'm gonna go jump on rather than sitting there trying to sort everything. So we're gonna go English sets, Lost Origin, Tina. What are we at in a PSA 10 right now? Across 1,000. I knew it was. I knew it was driving pretty good there for a little bit. I was guessing it's over 1,000. I don't know for sure. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Why are you not loading? There we go. Where are we at? 10, 1,200 bucks. Recent sales, 1,200 bucks. So there you have it. Well, that's weird because one went for auction for 730, 32 or 732 now. Now there's 720. Why does it say 1,000 up here? That don't make any sense. They're selling for 725 on eBay right now. 750, 725, 750. So I mean, still $700. It's not a huge gain actually, considering where it should be. I thought it was almost at 1,000. Why is it down so far? I'm just looking to see where's the. How do they figure it's $1,000 on here? If it's, I don't know. It says it's $1,000 for PSA 10s, but then on PSA 10s they're selling for 750 on their list. So I don't know how they're getting that. Kind of interesting, but because I knew it was almost up to like $1,000 there, so I thought it was gonna make 12 pretty quick, and then all of a sudden now I see it's 725. So I have to do a little bit more research into that one. Do it. And I thought it was expensive then. Let's see. iFOMO, Melty Smiley, Pokino for exclusives. Looks like Grillage IR is becoming a hot card. What are your thoughts? I was kind of looking at that one too, and I always thought the artwork of it was pretty sweet. That's just my opinion. I thought it was potentially a little bit slept on for the artwork of it. So I didn't think it would go high because it's a new Pokemon. I mean, that's the thing is too, is that a lot of times the new Pokemon are a little bit slacked, but overall I think it's a really good artwork. I think it's really, really clean. So I like it. I honestly think it's a really good card, but there again, is it because you gotta always remember, is it because of lack of product that it's causing the price to go up too? I like it. I think it's a really cool card. I've pulled it myself, and I think it's a beautiful artwork. So I personally like it. But there again, is it because of loss of product? A lot of things in Surging Sparks right now, you got to take with a grain of salt because of how little product there is available and how little is being open. And it can be making things look deceiving, like things are doing extremely well. But the second you get a reprint, then it drops in price like crazy and just drops out and dies. So that's really the real question we have is if we had enough product, would it be that price? If we get more product, will it be that price? So, right. Brandon stage 1. iFOMO. Wait for the reprints. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm trying to be patient. It's tough. Yeah, reprints are gonna kill all of this. That's a problem. Cashmere Fire. I'm trying to pack orders and got a paper cut, and it's making it impossible now. That always kills. Paper cuts always suck. iFOMO. I think Curlage is the SV is like the mimic. It could be. I mean, it definitely could be become that. I think it's a really cool Pokemon. I think that I'm looking at what it does. I mean, you got the Cursed Edge, discards all special entity cards from your opponent's Pokemon. That's a very, very strong move, especially for some of the energies that we have, like the medical energies and things like that. So they knock them off would be really, really good. Could be really interesting on the gameplay, and then also the black Black Blaze Slash is definitely something as well. That's got a fairly decent hit. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack though. That's the only thing that sucks is you hit it with 160, which is a fairly decent hit for a single stage Pokemon, stage 1 Pokemon. But there again, if you can't attack the next time, it can be kind of a downside as well. And it doesn't say you can't use this move. It says it can't attack. So basically, you're almost going to have to hit and retreat after you do it and do a switch or a swap to try, or a Poke Switch, in order to be able to attack on your next turn. So, interesting. I think it's really cool. I'm going to get through Ifomos here, and then maybe Miraidon and Koraidon, but Privilege is very cool. I think it's the better one. I can't get behind the Miraidon Koraidon. As legendaries, they're kind of, in my opinion, you're dumb. You're riding your Pokemon like a motorcycle is, I don't know. I'm not a big one on that one. Let's see here. iFomo. He says, "Have you seen the YouTube video Pokemon did on Krillage? Highly recommend it. The animation is fire." No, I have not, and I'm kind of wanting to see it now. I'm gonna have to go look that one up. So no, I have not seen it, but I will be. I'll be looking that up after this live. Blitzkrieg, the one that you, oh, the ones there, friends. Boom, Crown Zenith singles, definitely another thing. If you're looking for an investment, Crown Zenith singles are doing extremely well. There's some really good underrated cards right now on that end of the Pokemon side, so definitely something to be looking at as well. As those, like Boom just said, Crown Zenith has got a lot of singles in there that are just hidden gems right now that people just kind of forgot about Scarlet or Crown Zenith for whatever reason. So, all right. Well, guys, that's about it. We're already 20 minutes over, as always. It seems like I should just say an hour and a half, even though I try and do an hour. So, thank you, everybody. Once again, Happy New Year's to everybody who's coming into this now. Hopefully, you guys have a fantastic holiday here, crossing into 2025. We're going to continue as Northwoods TCG into next year. We're going to be doing, continue doing the videos every Friday, or I might move them around throughout the week. YouTube's kind of suggesting me to move it around, so I'm going to be trying to do some different videos this year. I'm trying to cover investing, trying to have some fun with some videos too. I'm trying to discuss the Pokemon and TCG hobby, also some of the business side of things too. So I'm kind of flowing between things to try and make it a little bit more interesting, and it seems like it's working. The algorithm seems to be liking it a little bit more, and I'm getting a little bit more views on some of those new views on there that I haven't been getting before. So that's really good too. And if you guys want to help out those videos, especially, just go out and like them, watch them, share them. It's greatly appreciated to help them out and get them moving along. Also, just so everybody knows, we do have the channel memberships available as well. I always put that out there with you as well. So if you guys want to support the channel, it's about the cost. It gets me a cup of coffee every day. So if I can get 30 people to join the membership, then I'll have a month's worth of free coffee on the road, which is fantastic for me. So that'd be greatly appreciated from you guys as well. Anybody that wants to support, it's always appreciated. As always, Blitzkrieg asked, DM'd you through YouTube. Probably either Instagram's probably the best way to DM me, just so it's in private, and then I'll check with them and see if I can get some of those 6-pack bundles. I know that they can't be too hard because they're still showing up at Walmart. I mean, there's still shelves of them at Walmart. So, but I know you probably want a whole case, so I'll have to find out what it would cost for a case and if they're available in case form from our distributor. Just because MJ Holding has something doesn't mean our distributors do. So, yeah, hit me up on Instagram and I'll send out a message to my distributor on tomorrow morning and find out if they have them available, so we can. I'll let you know on that. So, other than that, guys, thank you everybody who's joined in. Thank you for hanging out with me. Also, make sure you guys hit that or like button before you leave. Once again, greatly appreciated to hit the like and push the video a little bit harder. It's greatly appreciated. I see a few likes, but let's see if we can get a few more here before you guys head out. Other than that, thank you everybody and Happy New Year's, and we will see you at our next live. Next live will be back on Tuesday, 9 p.m. Central Time. So after the new year here and after the holidays, we are going back to our regular schedule of Tuesday. Also, let me know in the comments if you did make it this far, or if anybody who's still here, let me know. I was thinking about doing a live with my wife bringing her in. I thought that would be kind of a cool little perspective because number one, she's not big in the Pokemon. She doesn't know a lot about Pokemon. So, you know, sometimes having someone else's perspective, I thought would be kind of interesting, just having a discussion with me and her about what she knows I do. And then, just kind of looking at it from an outside perspective on this stuff is always kind of interesting as well. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comments or in the chat here, and then I will catch that as well. Otherwise, thank you everybody that's been hanging out with us tonight and this evening and on every live. Greatly appreciated seeing everybody out there. And of course, Happy New Year's to all of you. And we will see you